Hi everyone, Nicholas Buffett is here from sunny Cyprus and welcome to this tutorial which is based on the 2025 May-June paper 2-1. This is the second tutorial in this series for this particular paper and it focuses on databases. Now for links to the first part and the last part obviously, which is the presentation and the charts, go look in the description of this video so you can find the links to those tutorials so you have the complete tutorial for this paper, but you can also find timestamps so you can jump to particular points of interest. Now this particular databases component in this paper, there's a lot of work in here. It's not so much the skill level, it's just the amount of work that you have to do. You've got a report and you've also got labels as well. So enough said, let's get started with databases. Okay, so as always, first thing is let's have a look at the question paper, and the first thing we see here is task 3 database. It says you're now going to prepare a report. Date must be imported in the format day, month, year. Okay, that's important, and make sure all required data is fully visible. Use database software to import the file this as a new table. Use these field names and data types. So we can see here, let's just have a look at the field names and data types before we proceed. Nothing special here. This is a number, integer type. Here again, the date, day, month, year, and we're going to represent it like this. Then it says these are text, telephone is text always, online application is Boolean logical. And then we set the learner number as primary key. Save the data and then place evidence in your evidence document, screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key used in the table. Okay, before we begin, I think it's important because I get this question many times for loads of different students. When you're trying to import, for some reason, you're saying it displays your dates the wrong way around, month, day, year, instead of day, month, year. So I'm going to show you how you can fix that really quickly. Okay, so from your Windows device, you're going to click on the Windows icon. Now, there are a number of ways to do this, but the best way is going to be using the control panel. So I'm going to go type control to find the control panel. Click on control panel. Now, from here, I always use up here small icons instead of large icons. So if you've got this view, just go to small icons instead or category. Just go to small icons. From here, you should see region. We want this one. Click on region. And it's going to open this dialog box, and you can see here I've got this format as English United Kingdom. That's the one you want. Why? First of all, we can see that the short date and the long date is day, month, year. So it's going to import dates as day, month, year. Now, the next really important one, because quite a few of you contact me and say, when I try to import the CSV file into Access, it doesn't import the CSV file properly, or it doesn't import it. So from here, if I have a look at the additional settings, because I'm using the English United Kingdom region, we can see here that the list separator is a comma. Now, if you're using some other formatting region, you're probably going to find that this is not a comma and it's a semicolon or something like that. And the CSV files that you're given, they use comma separated values, and that's the issue. So by changing your region to English United Kingdom, you solve those issues. Or if you don't want to change your region, you can simply change the format. Well, the day format is going to be here. You can change it from month to year or whatever, but the important one is what you want to do is go to additional settings and make sure the list separator here is a comma. Okay, that's very important, otherwise you can't import your CSV files. So quick solution, English United Kingdom for the region. Okay, so with that done, we're going to go back to our question paper. And okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go and import this table. So let's go to our folder. We're going to right click in this section, new, and I'm going to create a new Microsoft Access database. Now, I don't need to give it a name. I can, but what I do need to do and make sure I do is I place my database in the same folder with all the other resources. So where you've got your folder with the resources, that's where you save it. I'm just going to call this, let's say, NP1234. Okay, create. And the first step is I'm going to go to external data, new data source, from file, text file. From here, I'm going to browse to find the file that I want to import. So if I click on browse, again, you're going to go to the location where you got all your resources. and I'm looking for J2521 learners. Here it is here. And even in this preview, can you see all of these fields? They're separated with commas. Okay, this is why it's important that your list separator is a comma. So with that one selected, click on Open. We now go to OK. And we should now see all of these, all the data in there. We can see everything separated with commas. The delimited character is a comma. We're going to go to Next. Now, we're importing into a new table. And to create the table, we need to create field names. So the first row does contain the field names. You can see surname, forename, gender. This isn't data. These are just column headings. Go to Next. So I'm going to go to Advanced. Now, I'm going to drag this over so I can compare this directly with my PDF. So just give me a second there. I'm going to be working on the other screen. Drag that over, and let's just jump over here. So surname here is text. Make that a bit bigger. Forename is text, correct. Gender, short text. Now, learner number, it says here integer, number integer. So this is a long integer. That's fine. That's what we want. Don't use short integers. It's always best long integer, because if they've got really long numbers in there, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Date of birth, date with time. So there we go, date and time. We can look at the formatting here to make it that particular formatting there when we go to the design view. Telephone number, it says integer. Now, telephone number should be text. Never use integer for a telephone number, because a telephone number can begin with a symbol like a plus sign, or it can begin with a 0. A school email is going to be short text, class code, AA code is text, and then the last one is going to be a Boolean logical, and that's going to be a yes/no field. Okay, great. I'm just going to bring this back over here. And with that done, I'm just going to click on OK. And then I'm going to go to Next. My primary key field, it said it should be the learner key. So I'm just going to choose my own key and choose the learner number. Yes, that one. And then go to Finish. Now, I should only get one item imported. There it is, J2521 learners. If you get two, one of them is probably going to be called errors. That probably means that you've imported your CSV file, one of the fields. You've said, for example, it should be only numbers, for example, long integer, but it's supposed to be text, and it can't put text in a number field. So by opening that errors table, you're going to see which one is the problem, but you can't fix it. You have to delete everything it's imported and import it again from the beginning. Okay, so before I can continue, I now need to open this table. There it is there. I want to go to my design view. So go to Home, Design View. And I am now going to modify my fields so that it shows exactly as it wants it here. So the first one is I want the date. I want the date to be DDMMMYY. So it looks like this. So let's go do that first. I'm going to click on my date field. I'm going to go down to my format in the properties down here. And I'm going to choose that one, the medium date. Okay. With that done, I'm going to click on Save and go to Preview. And now I can see my dates. They are formatted correctly. The next one that I want to have a look at, if I go to Design View, is going to be the Boolean field. It wants it to display yes, no. So let's just jump back. So here's my yes, no field. Currently, it displays a check mark, which I don't want. So I'm just going to, with this selected at the bottom, I'm going to go to the format. I want it as a yes, no, and then the lookup tab here. I want to change that from a checkbox to a text box. I'm going to click on Save, and I'm going to check it. There we go. So this now displays yes, no, not checkboxes. And this one here displays the date in English format, United Kingdom for day, month, year, and it's using the short date or the medium date format. Perfect. So I've done that one. I can now take my screenshot. So I'm going to go to Design View, and I want to take a screenshot of this. So with my screenshot, I'm going to simply make sure I do a couple of things. First one, you need to make sure that the heading of this or the title of this table is displayed. Absolutely vital. You need to make sure that primary key, that little key there next to learner number, can be seen. So don't chop it off. And then finally, you need to make sure all of the fields can be seen clearly, nothing being chopped off, and all of the data types are clear. Okay, so this is what we're looking for so we can get the full 4 marks. Let's go to my evidence document. This is number 15, and I'm going to place that there. That's big enough. Okay, and I'm going to do the other ones as well. So just save that, file save, and go back to my database. Great. So with that done, rule with Access databases is whenever you're not using something, close it. So I'm just going to click on this and close it. I finished with it. Let's now go back to my database question paper. So I've done this. Number 16, import the file J2521 access.csv as a new table in your database. Set all data types to text. Okay. Set AA code as the primary key. That's important. Placing your evidence document a screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key used. Okay, straightforward. Let's jump over here. So we're going to do the same thing. External data from the top, new data source from file, text file. We're going to go to browse, and I'm going to look for the file J2521 access. Here it is. Click on open and go to OK. All right, have a look. Make sure this data is readable, so it's got normal data in there. It doesn't have garbage in there. If it does, if you're not sure, ask your teacher. Your file may be corrupt. Go to next. Perfect. Now, we're creating a new table. So the first row is going to be field names. There they are. So I'm going to click on that. First row contains field names. If you don't do this, what's going to happen when you go to do your field names, you see you get field 1, 2, 3, 4. So that basically tells you, hang on, you haven't given any field names. So if I click on field names and go to advanced, you can see it's got the actual field names here. All right, so I'm going to go to next. I'm going to click on advanced now. And the same, now it said everything should be text. Now, under normal circumstances, I'm going to say that's absolutely fine. Just move ahead. But I can see this one here, guidance. Let me just close this. Guidance is actually really long. Can you see that? Now, if something is really long, there is a chance that this particular one here, this longest one here, may be more than 255 characters. Now, if it's more than 255 characters, it cannot fit in short text. We're going to have to use long text, but I doubt they will do that. So how are we going to check for this? I'm just going to make everything here short text. And when I import this table, if I get errors, then I'm going to delete the 2 tables it's imported. And the errors are going to be more than likely, definitely, because some of the text going into the short text is too long. So then I would have to go back and change the one for guidance and change that to long text. Where is it? There. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm only going to do that if I see that it does give me an error, and I doubt that it's going to. So I'm just going to click on OK there, leave everything as it is. Again, I don't bother with where it's got here, whether it's indexed and this, that, the other, with the data integrity. I've talked about this many, many times before, but we just leave these default values here, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so let's just click on OK there. So AA code is going to be the primary key. Now, when I click on finish, we're going to see if I get any errors. Click close. No. So short text was fine, okay? Because if it wasn't, I would get 2 tables here for J2521 access, and one of them will have the word errors, and I will have to delete both of them and just import it again using long text for the guidance one. Okay, so place evidence for this table as well. So I'm going to open this table, go to home, design view. Again, we're going to take a screenshot showing the table name, the data types, make sure that primary key, that little key there, is visible. And we're going to put that in step 16. Perfect. Control S to save, and I can carry on. So again, I've saved this, everything's okay. I close it because I'm not using it. Go back to the question paper. Number 17, examine the file J521 class.csv and identify the most appropriate data to use as a primary key. Close this file. import, then you're going to import the file as a new table in your database, use these data types, and then it says select the most appropriate field from the list and use it to create a primary key. Save and show evidence. So in this case, I need to go and discover which one is the correct one for the primary key. So I'm going to go and open the file. So I want the file class, J2521 class. Here it is here. So what's really important here is when you open something that you're going to import later, you do not save the file. So any changes you make, you don't save them. So I'm just going to click in the top left corner, double click between two columns so I can see all the data. Now, I've shown you this before. I'm going to say it again. The easiest way to find the primary key field is use conditional formatting. So I'm going to select all of the data. From my home ribbon, go to conditional formatting, manage rules. I'm going to create a new rule. Now, you should know this because this is in paper 3. I want format only unique or duplicate values. And I want to format all the duplicate ones. So I'm going to format them. So there I've chosen duplicate. I'm going to format them and I'm going to make them, let's say, a dark gray. Click OK. And OK. So this is going to now format gray everything which is duplicate. And straight away, can you see in this column, I've got 3 items which are black, which means they're repeated. I can't use that. The only one that doesn't have any formatting is this one, the class reference. So this is the field that I can use as a primary key field, class ref. Great. I'm going to close Excel. I'm not going to save. Do not save. And now I can go and import that table. So external data, new data source, from file, text file. We're going to browse and we're going to find the one class. There it is, J2521 class, open. Click OK. Same as before, check the data, make sure it's readable. Next. First row contains field names, correct. Next, we're now going to go to advanced and set up my data types. So the first one, year group, is a number. Let's just have a look at that. So year group, you can see that's a really small number, but I'm just going to leave it as a long integer anyway. And everything else should be text. So everything else is text. Great. Click on OK. Next. Now, my primary key, I have identified it as the class ref. Remember, it's the only column which didn't have any formatting when I checked it. Class ref. Click finish. And I should only get one table. There it is. Perfect. That one there. So all my tables have been imported. I'm going to open this one up. Go to design view. This is a step a lot of students forget, to take the screenshots of the tables. And what I do find very oftenly, they only take screenshots of one of the tables and they forget to do the other 2. Unfortunately, that will be 2 marks lost. Okay. So each one of these screenshots is worth a mark. There's 3 marks here for the 3 screenshots. Okay. I'm going to move this one down. Perfect. And Control S, just save my work. And now I can continue going to my question paper. All right, so next step is I'm going to create a one-to-many relationship as links between the AA code field in access table and the AA code field in the learners table. And then I want the primary key field in the class table. So they said the primary key because we had to discover this. And if they told us it was a class ref, well, that will be giving it away, isn't it? And the class code in the learners table. And we want evidence. Okay. So let's jump over here. We've finished with this table. I'm going to close it. And now I'm going to go to database tools at the top, relationships. Now, if you do see relationships like this already in there, you can ignore those. These are things that Access puts in automatically to make searching and indexing faster. I'm just going to scroll down with my mouse and I want to add my table here. So I can either right click show table or I can click on add tables at the top here. And I'm going to add my 3 tables. If you add one table 2 times like I've done now, you need to delete that one. So you only add your tables in once. I'm going to expand these so I can see all of the fields. And now I want, from the access table, I want the AA code to link with the AA code in the learners table. There it is. So I'm going to click on this one, hold the mouse button down, and just drag it and drop it on top of the AA code there. Double check this table so it's going from AA code to AA code, access table to learners table. Click create. Perfect. I'm just going to move this one over here so it's not on top of them. And now I want the primary key field in the class table. So that was the class reference with the class code in the learners table. So there it is there. Class. I'm going to click on this one, drag it and let go on top of class code. There's my table. Click create. Now I can't take a relationship of this because I haven't created it yet. You can see the create button is still there. Perfect. Now to take my screenshot, I am going to take two screenshots. First one, I'm going to click on this one, on that line so it becomes black, and then I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to place this little window there at the bottom, like that, and I'm going to take my first screenshot. I'm going to go to my evidence document, and I'm going to place that there. Again, that's a bit big. Make it a bit smaller, but make it easy. So I'm showing the visual relationship with the lines, but I'm also showing the actual relationship in the table at the bottom. Now I need to also show the other relationship. So again, I'm going to click close on this one. I'm going to double click on this line here, put this one here, and I'm going to take my second screenshot. You need to show all the relationships. Now, I do get questions. Is it not okay just to use the diagram and not use the table? Usually, yes. But the problem is, if you forget to do this, let's say this is expanded like this, and you take a screenshot like this, what happens is, we don't know where this line is linking to because this table is not showing all the fields, and this should be linked to the class code, but you can't see class code, so you will lose the mark. The same with the AA code here. You will lose the mark because there's a relationship, but you don't know where it's going to. So if you were to forget that by accident, by clicking on this thing here, it's fine because it specifically says what is connected to what. And that's why we want both of these there. Get into the habit of doing it and you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to click on the save button at the top left corner and close my relationships table. Now notice, whenever I finish something, I close everything. I have nothing open in Access. Number 19, add the following as a new record in the learners table. So we're going to add these fields. Now, usually I would say it's good practice whenever you're doing a practical paper and you're going to add a record in Access, or whether it asks you to create a form or not, create one. Not for the exam, but so that you stay in the know and practice creating a data entry form. So this step now that I'm going to do, you don't need to do for this paper. But it is good practice for you to say, right, let's create a data entry form that I would use to enter the data. So I want to create a data entry form for the table learners table. Okay, so I'm going to select the learners table. I'm going to go to create and I'm going to create form from wizard. I'm going to, it's selected the learners table there. If it wasn't there, I will make sure it's selected, add everything, and check this out, finish. I have made a data entry form. Did I need to? No, but it's keeping you practicing these skills. If you, let's say you complete 6 past papers and only one of them has a data entry form, then you've only practiced this once. But if you do this in every paper as an extra step, then you've practiced it 6 times. It will be second nature to you. Okay, and when you got your data entry form, you can just quickly practice doing things like going to design view, selecting these. Now, I've got a complete tutorial on data entry forms, which shows you everything you need to know, how to add list boxes, how to do option buttons or radio buttons, how to put buttons to navigate, the whole shebang. So go watch that tutorial, because if you get a data entry form one, there's a lot of marks there. So I can just make these a bit smaller and just quickly practice adding a button. Let's say there's a button there, record operations. I want to add a new record. Next. I want it to say add record and finish. And this is just quick practicing, guys. This is a simple form. But if I had to create a data entry form, you know, I've got most of the marks there. And that was like just a few clicks. And I could put a title, whatever title they tell me, up there. All right. Did I need to do that now? No. But if I wanted to use this, I can click on add record and add this information that I've got here. I could add it in this form and it will be added. So let's go and add the data without using the data entry form. Do I want to save this? I'm just going to click no because it wasn't needed. I don't need that form. So I'm going to click on that and delete it now. Yes. Right. So I'm going to open the learners table. This is the learners table. And at the bottom, you've got this little icon down here with a little like yellow star or like a sun. If you click on that, it will go to the very last record. There it is there. You can just scroll down to the last record. And that last record is where you would add the next record. So I'm going to add for surname, Norris. You want to be careful. You're entering this information exactly correct. It has to be correct. If you make a spelling mistake here or you do something wrong, your results in your query and your result will be wrong. 10218, 10218, 427. This is going to be the 10th of the 7th, 2009. Then I've got 07700, 07700, 904, 90457. Then the email. Notice I'm not copy pasting this time. Let's just expand that so I can see all of that. That's going to be EM_Norris at, oh, look, it's Tawara again. Tawara.ac. The code here is 4R and then AA02, AA02 in capitals and no. So that's it. I've added the record. Done. Okay. So that's finished. It doesn't tell me to take any kind of screenshot. I can now close that table because I finished with it. Do I want to save? Yes, I do. Okay, great. Now we go to creating a report. Okay, it says here, using fields from all tables, produce a tabular report that. Now, again, I've got tutorials on creating reports. Go check them out because it gives you all the details. For this tutorial, I'm only focusing on the question. Okay, so I always say I'm always going to jump to the bullet point that tells me all the records that I need to include in my query and my report. And I can see this one here shows only the fields. This one. This is the one that I'm looking for first, because that's the one which is going to tell me everything that I need to include. Now, if there is a filter up here, which is I'm not going to show in the results, that's fine. I can add it in, but I'm going to add these first so that they are in the correct order. So let's go with that. So to create a report, I must first create a what? A query. Before you do anything, you have to query the database. Tutorial all about databases explains that. It's a recent one that I released. It's a fantastic tutorial on databases. Watch it. You will learn everything you need to know. Right, so I'm going to go to create and I'm going to go to create query design. So from here, I should have query design. Here it is. There's my interface. I'll just close these for now. Now, I want to make sure that I add all my tables. So if this thing here wasn't there, I can either right click here, add tables or show table, or at the top in my query design, I've got add tables here. I'm going to double click on each one time to add them. Again, if you add an extra table, you have to delete it. I'm going to expand this so I can see everything. I'm going to drag this up a little bit as well. Okay. So it says here in my question paper that I need to make sure that I include the learner number, forename, surname, DOB, gender, year group, class code, access arrangement, and online application. Okay, and in this particular one, it doesn't ask me to create a field at runtime. So all the fields are there. So learner number. Here it is. Then I want forename, surname. I'm just double clicking each time. Date of birth, so double click on that one. Gender, year group, gender. Now year group is not in here. Here it is over here. Then I've got class code. Class code is here. Access arrangement is from this table. And online application, that one there. Okay, now you can see I've just added all of these fields it told me in the order that it wanted them. So now let's go back to my question. It now says, once I've done it, says selects the records where gender is female. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do. So I'm going to come here to my query where I've got my criteria underneath gender right there. I'm going to type the word female. Now, if you're not sure, let's say female male was represented with an F or an M, or female male, and you don't know, simply run the report. And I can see here for gender, it actually identifies male and female with the word male and female. And this is important because if you spell it wrong or type a wrong one, so let's say I put F for female, when I run, I get no results because there aren't any records with just the letter F. So I want female. So I'm going to run it again. There we go. And I'm going to check here. All of these are just female. Perfect. Let's go back. Now we're going to see the next one. Now, access arrangement includes the text time. Now, includes means that it has to have the word time anywhere. So let's just run this and see what we've got. So access arrangement is this one. Let's expand that. So where do we see the word time? Can you see here? It's got the word time at the beginning. Okay, well, let's have a look. Well, there it is. Can you see this one here has got the word time in the middle. So it needs to bring this one in as well. All right, so let's go do that now. If I was to just type time here, it will look for all the records which only have in access arrangement just the word time. There aren't any, so you're going to get no records. We want all the ones which include the word time. And I'm just going to do this here very quickly for you. So just to explain this one more time, because I do this every time. If I write the word like time, and I'll put this in, let's say speech marks, time, then it will look for in the record everywhere where the word time is there. It has to be just time. I'll get 0. If I want all the records where the time begins, the entry begins with the word time, then I would write time and then an asterisk. So it has to begin with time, and the asterisk is a wildcard, finish with anything. If I want all the ones that end in the word time, then I'm going to put asterisk star, which means it can have anything at the beginning, but it has to finish with time at the end, T-I-M-E. I'm particularly looking for all the ones which include the word time. So time can be at the beginning, the middle, or the end. So I'm going to put asterisk, time, asterisk. That basically means it could be anything at the beginning, anything at the end, but somewhere along the line, it has to have time. And students say, well, doesn't that mean it has to be in the middle? No, because the asterisk means it can also be time at the end, because the asterisk can be anything. Okay, so let's go and do that now. You don't need to put the speech marks. Access will do this for you. So for access management, I'm just going to write like, space, star, time, star. And as soon as I click away, you can see it's going to put the speech marks for me automatically. So I don't need to worry about them. Let's run this. So we can see here, all of these in the gender are female. And in the access time, it's got time here at the beginning, at the end. This one's the times at the end. Here, time is at the beginning. And here, time is in the middle. And that's how they know you've selected the right, you created the right query criteria. Perfect. Go back to design view. I'll leave the save for now. We'll come back to the save. Right, display in full. So we've done that. Make sure everything's displayed in full. Sorts the data into ascending order of access. Right, I don't need to, I'm going to do that later in the report. Okay, so the rest of these are all to do with the report part. The criteria part for the query is just this bit. Okay, so we can just save now. That was question 20. So we're just going to jump over here. And we're going to click on the save button. I'm going to call this Q20 for question 20 or query 20. There we go. Here's my query. I have finished with the query, so I'm going to close the query. Now I'm going to create a report using the wizard. Click on Report Wizard by going to Create Report Wizard. I had my query selected, so it's selected it already, but just double check you've got the query. You're creating the report based on the query. I'm going to add everything, and these should be in the correct order that it told me. Learner number, forename, surname, so on and so forth. Click on Next. It says, let's have a look. Right, so for the report, sorts the data into ascending order, so I need to do that. Has a page orientation, fits on a single page wide, includes that, uses that, has a data label. Does it say anything about grouping? Data label displaying full, sorts data into ascending order, descending order of year group. It doesn't say anything about grouping, so I don't want to group anything. Now, again, a question I get for students, which one do I choose from here? Which table? You choose the one that doesn't give grouping. So if I choose this one, can you see it's going to group with access arrangement at the top and everything else at the bottom. If I choose this one, it's going to go with year group and everything else at the bottom. This one doesn't have any grouping. So that's the table we choose. Next, do I want any manual grouping? No, I don't. It didn't say. If it said group everything by year group, then I can select year group and add it. So it will have year group and everything else at the bottom. But it didn't. So I'm going to remove that. Now, the sorting, it does have sorting, but I'm not going to do it here. We've seen this many, many times in previous tutorials. If I do sorting now, it's going to mess up the order of the fields. It's up to you. You can either do the sorting from here. If it's easier for you, choose the right one and choose ascending, descending. But I'm going to do it later from the report. Okay. Next, I want this to be descending order, right? Landscape. So we're going to choose landscape because that's what it says. Go to next. And that's it. I'm going to preview my report. Finish. Here's my report. It's landscape. I'm going to go now, close the print preview. And I'm going to have a look and see. I can see a lot of these. If I go to view, some of these are chopped off. I need to expand all of these and make them all readable. I've got some hashtags here because it can't display the whole date. So let's go and fix that now quickly. Now, there's a lot of discussion in the tutorials where people say, you know, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you? Just use the method that works best for you. You know, there's no right or wrong, whatever works best for you. I try to teach methods where you don't have to learn new things. So everything's done in one place. So I'm going to select the forename here first. I'm going to click here, hold the control button, and then click on the next one and just squish this a little bit. And that's going to give me some space to work with now. So I'm going to click, hold, drag a square over these two, and then I'm going to expand these like this. Okay, and I'm just going to do a quick view. There you go, it fits nicely. Now I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of these. Just open these up, going back. Let's take as much less space and just double check that everything is visible. Nothing is being cut off. Perfect, that fits. The surname, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Just put that there. Let's have a look. Does that fit? Surname. Is anything being cut off? No. Next one. You see, I'm going back, checking every single. You've got the time to do this. So, oh, look, you see this date is not visible yet. I need a bit more space for that one. So I'm just going to stretch that out a little bit more. Gender. That's just male, female. That's a small word. So I can just put that as small like that. Let's go have a look. My date, female, gender, all good. Now my year group, again, it's a small thing. I just need to make sure the title is fully visible. Class code, the same thing. Let's just do a quick run. Yep, everything perfect. This next one needs a bit more space. And let's open this one up as well. Hold the control button. All right, and this is basically should be fine. I'm just going to quick double check. Yep, everything looks good. Everything fits. Perfect. So now I'm just going to jump over to my question paper. So the sorts the data into ascending order of access arrangement, and descending order of year groups. So let's go do that now before I forget. From the design view, now at the top, I've got this button, group and sort. So this is what I'm saying, because now if I had done the group and sort before when I was creating the report and I put access arrangement, ascending order, it will put this one at the beginning over here and I would have to rearrange everything. So it's up to you what you prefer. So I'm just going to click up here, group and sort, and at the bottom we can see this thing here. I want to add a sort. So I want to add the sort on the access arrangement, and it says here with A on top. Now it says ascending order. So ascending order means from smallest to largest. Now if we think of A being 1 and B being 2, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I want the A on top and it will go down to Z26. So that's ascending. I then want a second sorting order with the year group descending. So here I'm going to add a second sort on that button there, and I want the year group, and it says here from smallest to largest. Now here it says descending order, so I want to change this from largest to smallest, because going from large to small, you're going downwards, you're descending. Okay, let's check that and see. So access management is here, and it's sorting everything in, there you go, ascending order going from E, R, T. And then if we look at these ones here, the first ones here, which are all the same, the sorting order now is based on the year group. So the year group goes from 12 to 11 to 10. So that's descending. So that's work. That's perfect. Okay. Fantastic. So let's go back. So we have completed that step. Has a page orientation landscape? Yes. Fits single page wide? Yes. So 2 pages only. We'll check that in a second. Includes only the text access arrangements to be scheduled as a title. I'm going to copy paste it this time because I'm lazy. So let's go and put this as a title. So go back to design view. Again, if you want to use different views for you, that's fine. But this is the way I do it. There's my title. So we've done that. Uses a function to display the date of birth of the younger student and place this at the end of the report. Then add this label fully visible on the left of that date. Okay. So I want the youngest student based on the date of birth. So the youngest student means the student which was born with the highest year. Let's have a look at the years. Date of birth. Right. So this is 2008, 2000. So the one who is the youngest, for example, the child born in 2008 is younger than the child born here in 2007. Because he was born later. So we want the highest year. So from here, we're going to go to DOB, and I'm going to right click. Now, sometimes with dates, this doesn't work so well. Yep, I'm right. So usually we would want to either click on this, and at the top where you've got totals, you should be able to choose max to choose the largest date. But it's not giving you max. So you have to type the function. But a lot of you probably won't know how to set up the structure of the function, and they've done this on purpose. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw in count values. Okay. Well, you're going to say, well, that's not going to help me, is it? Well, it is, because you can see you've got the whole structure of the function now. The function is equals count, brackets, square brackets, the field DOB. But instead of count, I'm just going to change that now to, so if I leave that count, have a look. If I go to the bottom, it says I've got 42 records because it's counting how many records I've got here. But I don't want to count them. I want the largest DOB. So I'm just going to delete the count and put the function for the largest one. Max. Let's try now. And if we look here, there you go. 21st of the 8th, 2010. And that makes sense because everything else is smaller than 2010. And this is the 21st of the 8th. Okay. Now I want to change the format. Can you see it says 8th here? I want the short date. So with that, with this selected, I want my properties. If you don't have the properties, simply right click on it, properties, format, and I want to change that to a medium date because it said all dates should be displayed like that. Oh, sorry, let's go to view. So now that should be, there you go, 21st August of the 10th. That is the latest date, so the birth date of the youngest child. So let's go back. I'm going to take my title now, which I want, my heading, Control C. Now I want to add a title here. So I'm going to choose a label, not a text box, because you're going to get errors with the text box. I'm going to select that and paste what they told me. Now I want these to be nice and neat. So what I'm going to do by selecting that, I'm going to go to home, align that to the right. And this one here, I'm going to align it to the left. That just brings them closer together. Let's see what it looks like. Yay. There you go. So DOB, my G is a little bit cut off there. So I'm just going to, that will lose me a mark. There you go. Make that a bit bigger. And there we go. DOB of younger student. And there it is. That one there. Perfect. As I said, this is a long-winded paper. There's a lot to this paper. So we've done that one as well. And we've done that one. Has your name, center number, and candidate number in the footer of the report so it appears in the same position on every page. Okay, so in the footer of the report. So this is going to be 2 pages, it said. Let's have a look. If I go to print, actually, let's not do that yet. Let's go to design view. And I want to go in the report on the page footer, not the report footer. Because I've got 2 pages and I want my details on every page. So it has to be on the page footer. The report footer only puts something at the end of the report. Now in the page footer, I've got these objects here. I don't need these. You can just get rid of these. I would say just get rid of these. Give yourself some space. And I'm going to again create a label. It says in the footer, doesn't say where. So I'm just going to put it over here on the right. 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to click away, click on the object, and again, align it to the right so it's nice and neat. You don't have to, but there you go. Okay, so I've done that as well. Let's go see what's missing. So I've done that. I just now need to check and make sure it's only 2 pages. So I'm going to show you a mistake that students do. I'm going to go to View, File, Print. Or you can just go from here, View, Print, Preview. Now from here, if I click on the arrow down here, that's page 1, that's page 2, and I can't click anymore. So that means I've only got 2 pages, perfect. But here's a mistake some of you students make. If I close my Print Preview, go to Design View, sometimes what you do, for some reason, you like making this section here bigger, like that, so you got more space. Or you like making this section up here where you're moving things around, you like making that bigger. What happens with that one? It looks like, can you see this big gap here? You've made that gap. Now, if you go to Print Preview, you're probably on 3 pages now. 1, there you go, 3 pages because of that gap. So we want to go back, Design View, and just close that gap. There you go. And the same happens if you make this one bigger. This is even worse because each row now is bigger. Have a look. Can you see the distance between each row? But when I go to Print Preview now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Okay, because I made that gap. So I need to make sure my gap, you don't make these gaps bigger, make them nice and tight, not too small, but just enough to make sure you've got the right amount of pages. So print, if it tells you pages, let's have a look. There's page 1, page 2. Oh, I still got a little bit there. So I need to go and make that a little bit smaller there. I made something else a bit bigger here. It's got to be this one. There, let's see now. Okay, that's nice and tight. Nothing's been cut off. File, print preview. That's page 1, page 2. There we go. All right, perfect. I'm going to click on save, and that's going to be report. There's my report there. Done. Save and print your report. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the database formula used to find the younger student. Okay, so let's go back. Before we close this one, go to design view. There's my formula there. I'm going to take a screenshot of that with the label. There it is. And just put that evidence 20. Nice and big for them, easy to read. I'm not going to have any more evidence here. You can see that's finished. So I'm just going to close my, I'm just going to save my evidence document, file save, and that's it, finished with the evidence document. I'll minimize it for now. Okay, so it says here, using fields from all the tables, produce labels. So we're going to be working with labels now. Select the records where AA code is AA1. Class code includes the numbers 5 or 6. Are sorted in descending order of learner. So I want descending order of learner number. Use this selection to produce labels which are arranged in 2 columns and 4 rows. So I need to make sure I've got 2 columns and the resulting page, each page should only have 4 rows with 8 labels to the page. Okay, 2 by 4 is 8. For example, each label size, it's giving you dimensions here, which is great. Okay, there we go. Print in portrait orientation with the page size A4. Display the data for each field left aligned with the layout as shown in the following sample label. So here I only need the A code, the class code, and the learner number, but I'm also going to need the date of birth and some other things here. So this is a sample label that they've given me, that one there, and that's what I need to reproduce. Have your name, center number, and candidate number on the left at the bottom of each label. So that means here, I'm going to need my details, my name, center number, and candidate number at the bottom there. So it'd be good for you to write this on your question paper so you don't forget. Modify only the first 2 lines of the label so the text is displayed in 14-point font size, center aligned, and displayed in bold. This is a 10-mark question. And this is not hard. Now, again, I've got a tutorial in my Access playlist on labels. Go and watch it if you need help. But I'm going to go over everything you need right now. So let's get started with creating this particular label. So I'm going to close everything I've got open. So I've finished with that report, close that there, and blank screen for Access. Before we can create labels, before we can do anything, we have to first create a query. So create query design. We want labels from all tables, it says. So I'm going to add all my tables. Again, there they are. 1, 2, 3. Just like spreading them out so they're nice and neat. And I want to be able to see all of the fields. And I'm just going to drag this up to make it easier for you to see. Perfect. Now, our next step is I'm going to add all the fields that it told me to add. So I'm going to start off with essentially the label. Access, actually I can add, access arrangement, learner number, forename, surname, DOB, class code, and class tutor. So I'm going to do that first. So I want access arrangement, that one, learner number, which is that one, forename, surname, DOB, class code, class tutor, class code, class tutor. Okay, so those are all the fields it wants me to add. I'm going to go see now if there's any extra fields that I need as well for the criteria. So I need AA code. Yep, I need to add that one. Class code I've already added. That's it. So I need to also add the AA code. I'm going to add that at the bottom. Okay, so it says that I only want the records where the AA code is AA01. So in the criteria, I'm going to put AA01. I'm going to run my query. And there you go. Only the ones with AA code 01 are there. Perfect. The next one, it says the class code contains the numbers 5 or 6. Okay. So the class code, where am I? Class code there. I only want the ones where are 5 or 6. Let's go run and see. So here's the class code. Okay, so you can look at that. So you can see that there's a number and a letter. So I only want the ones that have 5 or 6. This is a tricky one. Right. If I was to do this, 5 or 6, that won't work because it's looking for results where the class code only equals 5 or only equals 6. We don't have any class codes which are only 5 or only 6. We've got class codes that say 5N, 6N, 6K. So you've got two ways to do this. You can either search for the ones that begin with 5 or begin with 6, or only the ones, because it says here includes the numbers. I would do all the ones that contain a 5 or contain a 6. There you go. We'll do that one. So I'm going to start with 5 first. Just like before, like, star, 5, star. This is going to find all the ones, all the ones that contain the number 5. Let's try that first. Perfect. You see, only the ones with 5, containing 5. Now I'm going to put the command or. I'm going to put it in capitals. You can put it in small because Access will recognize. So I'll do it in small so you can see. Or like star 6 star. If I click away, you're going to see it's recognized it and just put that capital letter for the or. Let's run it. So here we can see we've only got class codes that have a 5 or a 6 at the beginning, or includes a 5 or a 6. That's what they're looking for. Okay, so we've done that first part. We've done the criteria, the sorting, descending order of learner number. We're going to get to that. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little star there so I don't forget. Use the selection to produce. Now, I've done the query. The query is finished. I can sort now if I want to from here. So I could go to learner number, click on sort here and choose the appropriate one, descending. But I'm not going to do that because I want to show you how you can do this also from design view of the labels. Now, again, I've got a tutorial on labels. You can watch that for the whole shebang on labels. Now, let's start. So I've finished with the query, so I can just close it. I've already saved this as question 21. So just click on save. And if it asks you for a name, give it a query number 21, because that's the question number. And we're going to go to create labels. Now, from create labels, we can see we've got some predefined labels here. We don't want to use these. We want to create our own one. We're going to click on customize. From here, we're going to create a new label, and we're going to just give it a name. For example, MP CY127, whatever you want to call it. It really doesn't matter. We want to make sure that we've got metric, because metric uses centimeters. If you use English, it says it's in inches. So since the dimensions they've given us are in centimeters, we'll use metric. Sheet feed, because we want a page printer, and we want it in portrait. The next important one is the number of columns, 2. We want to have 2 columns because it said it has to be 2 columns. And then we want to put the dimensions of the label. Now the width, it said 9.9 centimeters. So this is already centimeters. So I'm going to select this and put 9.9. And the height should be 6.77. Now we don't know the height of the margins. For example, the top, the left and the right margins. So as soon as we click on OK, because there's 0, it's going to give us a warning here. So let's just go there. There you go. Label wizard, there's a warning. Now it says that one or more of your margins are outside the printable area. Do you want it to set to increase appropriate margins? Click yes, and you're going to see that 0. There you go. It's put 0.76 of a centimeter for the top, the left and the right. So you don't need to remember that. It will do it for you. Click on OK. And there's your label, your custom label. Click on close and you can see it here. But if you can't see your label there, if you just click on that, that means you're seeing all the default labels, all the predefined labels for different manufacturers. And if you click on that, you can see your custom label. So with that label there now selected, we can go to next. Don't worry about the formatting. We can do that later. Let's go to next, and we're going to create our label as it's given us in the question paper. So if we just have a quick look over here, you've got your access arrangement, the learner number, forename, and there's a little space there, surname, date of birth, class code, space, dash, space, class tutor, and at the bottom, our details. So from here, I'm going to add access arrangement, move down with that down arrow, or I can click learner number, click on the next one, forename, spacebar, surname, go to the next line, DOB, next line, class code, space, dash, space, and then class tutor. Now, I can put my details down here because I read ahead, but let's say you didn't and then you realize afterwards, I'm not going to put my details now, so you can see how you will sort this out in the design view. Okay, so with that said, that's all there. I'm going to go to next. I want sorting on learner number, so I'm going to add that sort by. It doesn't give me the option for ascending or descending, but don't worry, we're going to see that in the design view. Go to next and then finish. Now it says here some items might be beyond the printable area. Don't worry about that. Just click on OK. And there are my labels. I've got 2 columns. There you go. And 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Fantastic. So now what you are going to see when you close the print preview and then you go back to normal view, you're not going to see 2 columns because this isn't the print preview. The print preview will show, there you go, the error, 2 columns. So don't panic if you see 1 column in the normal view. So let's just close the print preview. And now we're going to modify this, because if I go now to design view, now I can say, I was supposed to add my details. How do I do that? Well, just like in the reports, when we do reports, we got up here the label. I'm going to click on the label and I'm just going to draw a label at the bottom there. And I'm going to add my details. CY 127 1 2 3 4. Now if I preview, there's my label. Can you see my name is at the bottom of the label on the left? So let's go see what else it told us to do. It's got also, so we've done the label, have your name, center, number, candle on the left or bottom of each label done. Modify only the first 2 lines to look like this. 14-point font size, center aligned, and bold. Okay, make sure nothing overlaps. So let's go back to design view. Now, I want the first 2 lines. That's this one and this one. So I'm going to draw a box over these 3, and I'm going to use the arrow keys to move these down a bit because I want to make these a bit bigger because I'm going to have bigger fonts. So I'm just going to make this box a bit bigger, move it down, and make this box bigger as well, just so everything fits nicely. All right, let's see. So the first 2 lines, I'm going to draw a box over these 2 to select them. I want the font to be 14 points. Let's see if that fits. Yes. I want it bold. And I also want it center aligned. And can you see how nicely it fits in that label now? Do I need anything else? No. Let's have a preview. There are my labels. And if I go to print preview, click OK. There are my labels. 2 columns, 4 rows. So I've got 1 page, 2 pages. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, so let's just go see. Make sure your data is on every label fully visible, no overlap. Save and print your labels. Okay, so from here, I will simply, while I'm in my preview, I can go to print. And I would choose, you would choose your printer and print that off. I've just got my Adobe PDF printer there. So that's basically it. We've done the labels. Okay, fine. So I would save all of that, go to my question paper and see what's next. Task 4, printing the evidence document. Make sure that your name, center, number. So the last part of this part of the tutorial is going to be print your evidence document. There it is there. We finished with the evidence. Again, you will print this off, file print, and you'll be done. Okay, just make sure you have a preview before you print. Okay, do we have anything else? No. So that was the database component, task 3 and 4. It was quite hefty. We had 2 queries, we had 1 report, and we had 1 custom labels. Now, even the query had a little bit of a trick in there because you had to have the like star 5 star or like star 6 star. So you had, let's say, contains with an or function in your query. This was not by any means an easy component to do. This was a tricky one. Okay, so that's this one finished. Make sure you look at the links in the description of this video so you can go see the first part of the video, which is the word processing, or the last part of this paper, which is the presentation and charts. But as always, you know the drill. If you liked this tutorial, make sure you give it a like and make sure you subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. So I'll see you in the next tutorial, which is now going to be on presentation and charts.